Recording in progress. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of everyone's favorite, the world class, the ultimate, let's call it the ultimate pitch practice, the show. I'm a guy behind the mental marketer in the private Facebook group Funnel Building 101, helping business owners and entrepreneurs just like you to leverage the power of sales funnels to build the lifestyle business of your dreams. Now is the perfect time if you are not involved with building your funnels. It's just an amazing time right now. Hey, look who's down there. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Jackie? What's up, Laura?
Good morning, Mark. Brandon here with BKX Squared Enterprises, getting you found and helping you conquer the local market.
All right.
Lauren, Jackie, helping build the economy one franchise at a
time. You building the economy one franchise at a time. Hey, oh my gosh. Yeah, here we are about to embark on really the last half of the year. How do you guys feel about that?
It's going way too fast, I can tell you that.
It's going way too fast. Brandon, we're about a month away from being together there in Orlando.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Oh man, time is just flying by. Arrangements still need to be made. Final touches. People are reaching out to me, still scrambling to find places to stay.
But what's the convention?
I'm looking forward to it.
Funnel Hacking Live.
Oh, wow. The one that y'all went to last year is already that time of year again?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. It's interesting because as we go through this book, there we go, the ultimate sales machine with Chet Holmes. Something he said in the book this time kind of resonated with me thinking about Funnel Hacking Live. When we were listening to it this morning, and what he talked about was something called, well, of course, I think last week we really hammered down in that first introduction and the preface just about having pig-headed discipline, having pig-headed discipline, and how it's not about doing 4,000 things. It's about doing one thing 4,000 times. In this reading that we went over today, he started off with talking about event training. Let's talk about that before we get into a little bit of the meat that we had talked about today. So pretty interesting stuff. If you're watching out there, we want you to hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay if you're watching us on the replay, and smash that heart button. We love seeing your comments and all your suggestions and feedback. Event training. This is when you go to an event, you get some training, you come back to your office, you may even try some of the concepts for a little while, and you see them work, but you quickly abandon them because you are missing the pig-headed discipline and determination that make it great. What do you think about event? What he calls event training? Can't hear you, Brandon.
It's spot on. I don't know how many events I've been to that I've had to go through either, when I was selling insurance or selling automobiles. They make us do these trainings, and they last about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then it just goes back to the old ways.
You you could call it an event high.
Yeah, an event high is a good way to put it. You know, you're feeling good, you got all the endorphins going, everybody around you, and then get back to the real world, and it's tough to keep that feeling going.
That's so true. What do you think? You experienced that, Laura?
Yes. That's why I think like if you're gonna do something, you should do it consistently, like we do, where we'll come back here once a week, we'll read something and then we'll apply it and then have another week, but there's an accountability point. So the events can work and they do work. What
Mhm.
happens is I don't think you have discipline without an accountability point. So you have to build those accountability points. I know for me this year, one of the things that I really, really focused on, because in the past years I hadn't really focused on this much, was Cardinal University. And I've always had it. It's thousands of hours. And a lot of it, Brandon, you know this because you've seen it. It's a lot of the same stuff, but it's exactly what Chat keeps saying. Don't do the same. Don't do different things 1,000 times. Do the same thing, right, over and over and over again. And it's
Yep.
almost like you perfect one or two things, and that's actually what you're going for. You want to be a high skilled expert at something. And for me, I've decided since I was in my early 20s that was going to be sales. So for me this year, I didn't do all the events. I keep doing Cardinal University, because instead of just live training once a week, once a year, how about every single day, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then implement?
Oh man, you put a line right into what we what we went over today. And I want to get you both of y'all's thoughts about it. Because this was just the introduction where he was talking about we want to work harder, work smarter, not harder. And starting out in a sales book, because it's called The Ultimate Sales Machine. But what he's done is it says turbocharge your business with relentless focus on these 12 key strategies. So we've got, and the way he organized the book, right? So he organized the book for each 12 key strategy. He made that into a chapter. Okay. So today was the first chapter that we went on, and we listened to it all, guys.
I thought it was good. I actually thought it was better than I was expecting it to be. And I think the one thing that stuck out to me out of anything he said was, I help Charlie Munger run his companies. I was like, what? He never even mentioned that. I think he should have put that at the beginning of the book. Brandon, I was taken back by that. Were you? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That's one of his claims to fame, actually. Okay. We still can't hear you, Brandon. We're waiting for you, Brandon. No, can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me
there
now?
you go. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when I heard the name as well, I mean, it really perked the ears. I was like, okay, this guy dealt with that guy. It's like I probably should pay attention a little bit more.
That's exactly how.
Oh, Laura, did you cut out?
No, I said that's exactly how I felt. Exactly like Brandon. Like I should have paid a little bit. And now that I know that was Charlie Munger's guy. Not that I really care about Charlie Munger, but they have run billion-dollar companies, right?
Yeah, he name dropped, didn't he? It makes you perk up. You're upside down.
Oops.
Yeah, he definitely name dropped. I don't know. I thought okay, so this is the first time that he mentioned it. Okay. Because I think that was we'll get into the book even more, and we're going to find out about all the other companies that he worked with and that he actually took from the bottom. But this very first strategy, the very first thing that we talked about, just to start off at becoming the ultimate sales machine, is about time management. The time management secrets of billionaires. I love the story he told about how his schedule was and how he noticed that everything was got a minute. He would have all these got a minute meetings. And then he noticed that, but when he wanted to have a meeting with Charlie Munger, he noticed that it had to be for a very specific time. They went in, and in that meeting, they got right to the point.
There was an agenda.
Yes, it was very structured. And that's when he had his aha moment. And he says, you know what? The way I'm conducting my meetings and the way I'm managing my team, and even the way I'm going about my daily business, my daily work, from prospecting, I could take this advice from Charlie Munger. So I'm gonna read out the 6 steps, because he's broken it down into 6 simple steps. I thought this chapter was basically a crash course on time management. I thought there was some pretty good tips. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, and time management 101, definitely a crash course there. In getting things set up right. Not the first time that I heard it. In fact, I had a brief meeting with a business coach the other day, and that's one of the things that he mentioned doing was, make your list, assign your time to it, and stick to it as much as possible.
Yeah. The 6 steps. Whoa, look at that. Wait a minute. Okay. So let's read off to you the 6 simple steps that he talks about in the book. And not that I haven't heard them before, but sometimes getting that refresher and thinking to myself, wow, that's something that I could do to improve my productivity. But the 6 steps are: touch it once, make daily lists. But no, he didn't say, and it was interesting because he didn't say make long lists. He actually talked about making long lists. He said make daily lists of the 6 most important tasks to accomplish. He said plan how long each task will take, assign time slots for accomplishing each task, focus on the difficult projects first, and ask yourself, will it hurt me to throw this away? Of all of those 6 simple steps, which one did you have the biggest takeaway from, Laura?
Definitely the where he's like, you don't need to keep all these notes, all these emails. You're probably gonna see it once, so get it done and then move on. You don't need to hoard all these things. It brought me back to a memory I had. My English professor when I was in college, one of them, freshman and sophomore year, I went to his house one day, and he had stacks of notes and papers. I'm talking like decades worth of stuff. I walked in there and I was like, what do you do with this stuff? Like, are you ever gonna read it again? He's like, no, I'm just incredibly attached to all this paper. I was like, okay. So and he was like, he just didn't have a life. He wasn't married. He was an amazing professor, but he was just not all there. Like, brilliant guy, but I'm like, okay, yeah, don't hoard shit. Don't do it. So I think for me, since I was younger, I've always been like, okay, I'm not gonna be like that guy. He was brilliant, but I'd rather be okay-ish at writing and not be unmarried and childless and no family. I just got that from him. So when I brought it, when Chet was speaking this morning, It brought me immediately back to that memory, and I hadn't thought about that in, I don't know, 10 years. But it just reminded me exactly of that. That's why I got a digital notepad when I write. So regardless of how much I want to write, it could be millions of pages, and it doesn't matter. It's one digital notepad. I don't know where it's, somewhere around here. So I would say if you're going to be a writer, if you're going to do something, stick to digital. So you could go back and research the word you wanted, or if you're attached to just writing because you need to think and process, do it in a digital way so it doesn't hoard. I know he mentioned deleting emails. I don't ever delete any of my emails that are business because I always like to go back and look at them, and I might need them for whatever reason. However, what I would suggest is keep a business email and a personal email. Right? That helps you there. Besides that,
So
yeah.
you're like the person that he talked about in the book where he said she kept every single email and it was causing her computer to run slow. And
Well,
after
everything is cloud-based, but everything is cloud-based now. So I think some of the assumptions in this book are that like things are limited, and like there wasn't digital notepads, and so it goes back to like, okay, this book was written in the early 2000s. The first thing that Brandon and I laughed was like TiVo. It was like, what the hell? We hadn't heard that word since we were kids. So yeah, no, but I think that was a good point. I think actually the best part of this book that they've talked about so far, and I'm sure because Brandon's good at this, is market data for a product. Like have market data for a product that increases your sales more.
I'll tell you, that part of time management really, I had a big takeaway because I have a problem just deleting stuff as well. But also one of the really big things that I learned a while ago that he talked about in this chapter was touch it once. Touch it once. When I see an email, I open it and I take an action on it. I'm either going to store it, delete it, or take action on it, something at that moment, because saving it for later, it starts to back up and then back up and back up. What's some of your big takeaways, Brandon? Of those 6 simple steps. Touch it once. Oh, and also had a big takeaway about when he said make a list of just 6 things. I do have a tendency to make a long list.
Oh, so it could be like analysis paralysis, or like information overload, or like, oh my God, 25 things I need to do today. Overwhelmed. I'm not gonna do any of them.
Yeah, and it made so much sense when he said you tend to start checking off the easy things.
You start skipping around. Number 25, number 23, number 19. And it's like, number 1, 2, and 3, because those were the hardest.
Yes, and then you start just tacking off those easy things. Oh, I could just do this easy. But when I'm going to start doing that instead of having this longer list of things that just randomly. But what he said was 6 things. Just have 6 things to do on your to-do list. And what did he say? By hook or by crook, finish those 6 things. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm going to give you some time to give your takeaways.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest thing, again, was the touch it once deal, especially when it comes to the email. I think if I looked at my phone right now on my Gmail icon, it's like 48,000 unread emails on there. And that's just coming from all the things that I've signed up for, newsletters and, funnel hackings that I've done, and did not use I would say a dummy email account to do it and sign up for it. Yes, I need to definitely go in there, purge and unsubscribe to a bunch of emails. Second thing would be the list. Having that plan of action for the day is definitely good to have. I have a ton of 10x notebooks that I could be using to plan out those 6 things throughout the day for those 6 hours that I would want to work. So yeah, that's the 2 biggest takeaways.
Yeah, yeah. He said that if you were to spend, I think what did he say about spending an hour a week? I think he talked about the example of having the salesperson implement something, and then afterwards he asked the salesperson, okay, how did it go? And he said, well, it didn't work. But then he asked the salesperson, well, how many people did you talk to? He said, well, I talked to 10 people. And then he said, well, how many, and did nobody buy? He said, no, 2 people bought. And he was like, okay, that what makes you think that it didn't work? Because maybe you weren't actually just tracking that information and doing and doing the same thing, not wanting to move to something different. What type of tip would you give for someone out there listening that is struggling with managing time? Brandon?
Somebody that's struggling managing time, I mean, I would say do the time audit deal, but just like Chet said, when he heard that, he just, got up and left the seminar. And I kind of felt the same way too when I heard that tactic to do is, write down everything that you've done to see where you're wasting the time. To better manage your time, do what is absolutely most important. Because the thing that I hear all the time when dealing with anybody is that I don't have any time. And it's not that you don't have any time, is that it is not a priority to you. So figure out what your priorities are, get those taken out first, and then you will see what you have left over to do the tasks that really need to be done in addition to what your, first priorities are.
Laura?
Yeah, I think mine's a little bit different. I'm like, Grant is in my heart, is in my soul. He's penetrated all my DNA. So for me, it's like you don't manage time, you create time. If you write your goals down, and many times I don't, but I look at my vision board every single day, and I look at where do I want to go in my life, and like where am I aiming at. So if I'm aiming at being a multi-million-dollar fundraising for the school I went to, Spartan Methodist College, right? If I want to, raise and donate over $10 million, that can happen in millions of ways. It doesn't have to be I write the check. It could be figure it out another way, or business acquisitions or whatever, right? And then I have 2 great, beautiful children there. I've got a great marriage. I'm in perfect shape. So I think for me, time management is whatever I'm doing getting me there, or at least it goes back to that book. I can't remember what it's called, the Habit book. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's James Clear, I think. He wrote a book and it's like Atomic Habits. Yep.
Habits. Yeah.
Where it's like, is it a plus sign towards where you want to go, or minus towards where you want to go? So like one of the things is like, okay, good. I want to be active. I want to feel good about myself. So what am I doing? I'm here on the treadmill while I'm on this call, right? So you don't manage time, you create time, and we all get the same amount of time. We're just going in different directions, right? If one of my directions is be a top salesperson, be a, great fundraiser, be great. That means, and if I'm in amazing shape, have amazing, future marriage and all that stuff, that means I got to work on that every single day. And it's not about just tasking it off. It's about taking action. And you'll find out that most of your days and most of your weeks will look the same. We've had this call, especially Brandon and I, for what, 4 or 5 years or whatever now. And it's like it, or well, I feel like every time we say that, Brandon, we just add an extra year for a week. Whatever it was, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. At this point, we're just gonna say it's been half a decade.
I think it was like 7 years.
Correct. So basically, I think my thing is like I'm so ingrained with everything Grant says. If you look at your goals, if you look at where you're going, you can take action better, right? It's like, okay, yeah, just doing the touch it once, get it done, that's good, but it can't just be thoughtless action, or like, oh, I just, I wanted to move this from this room to that room. Like, how does that actually help my goal, right? So you have to be doing the right thing. I think what the book hasn't mentioned yet is like, are you focusing on the right activity? Even if you had 600 emails, that doesn't mean you need to get back to all of them. Maybe there's just one there that makes sense for you, right? And then it's also, I think, one of the biggest time management things that you can do is actually just say no to about 99% of everything that's in front of you. Yeah. So you could say yes to the things that put you in the direction of where you want to go. And for me, it's like, great, top salesperson, top fundraiser. So if it doesn't go in that direction, then it's easy. Like, okay, here's my qualifiers. Great. Then love to do it. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think that time management, time creation and reality, because there's what we learn, or the tips that we get from books and things, even Atomic Habits, but it always seems to be a disconnect between the learning and the execution, because life is always throwing curveballs at you.
And it's always going to be like that.
Yes.
It really is. There's never one. It's like, one day it's like the freaking washer machine isn't working. You got to figure something out. Next thing is like, dang, I fell down the stairs. My toe's hurting. Next thing is like, oh my God, I lost my voice, from all these calls. There's always going to be something. So you just have to be, okay, good. Still going to get there.
Or I had to meet a client and we were going to meet at one location and that location is closed. Or we were going to, we had to fill out this application online, but the internet was down. I think what he said at the end of the chapter was important, and that was I'm sorry. He said, plan in some flexibility. Plan in some flexibility and expect those curveballs to be thrown at you. But once you get over that curveball, then get back to your pig-headed discipline. I would love to have pig-headed discipline, but
me too.
You do.
Hey, we do though. So you have to remember, like, we do is just show Kane in different ways. Like, we're disciplined many times, and I'm talking about myself. I'm good at being lazy a lot. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, right? Hey, yeah. I'm disciplined at that. Like, I'm very disciplined. Like, no, I'm gonna sit here for 4 hours and goof off.
You're disciplined at being lazy.
Yeah, exactly. So don't tell yourself that you're not disciplined, because you're disciplined. It's just channeling the wrong direction. And I keep reminding myself every time, exactly when I tell myself I don't have time, where I'm not disciplined, I go back and I say, like, well, I'm actually really disciplined. It's just pointing in a different direction. So I just need to channel that and tweak that a little bit.
Yeah. Another thing that really helped me is when I have something to do, just take it in chunks. Take it in chunks. If I okay, so I need to do some serious optimizing of the videos on my YouTube channel, because we're almost being monetized.
Hey, we're always being monetized.
No, but my channel is this close to being monetized from the YouTube partner program, which
Good.
is, yes. In case you didn't know, YouTube, guess what happened? I didn't meet the target. YouTube lowered the standards.
There you go.
Hey,
Russell
hey,
talked about that this past week on his podcast, I think.
it's in your favor. Who cares what happened?
Yeah. And you
I
know
mean, I'm
how
not trying to, yeah, who cares what happened? Take all the advantages. We'll just call that luck because you're moving in the right direction.
exactly. They just moved the goalpost closer. So I'm still pushing towards it. You know how Grant always says, don't shorten your target, increase your production.
Increase your activity.
Yes. Well, so YouTube reduced the requirements by 1,000 watch hours. They took it from 4,000 to 3,000 watch hours, and I'm at like 2,800.
A month?
No, it's like total 2,008.
Oh, good for you. Well,
Yes.
don't forget, me and Brandon started this.
I'll expect my residual checks here by the beginning of next year, hopefully.
Yeah, let's see what my residual checks look like. 3 cents, a check for 3 cents.
Hey, don't neglect the flow. A flow is a flow. A flow is a flow. You better freaking put a holy Bible next to that flow. You tape it to the wall as your first one. Guess what? Me and Brandon aren't getting checks from YouTube. So if you are, you freaking just work the hell out of it. You're closer than us.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. It's happening without me doing anything. That's
not true.
Well, I've already done the work.
How is that not anything?
Well, I'm saying that I've already done the work. I won't say I haven't. It's happening after I've done the work. So I've done the work, and then it's happening without me doing anything else. Without me doing anything else.
Well, that's kind of how it works. Like, you show up, you do the work, and like somewhere in there you get some results.
Well, not everybody operates like that. I think that most people think it's like okay, I go to work, I trade my time, and I get money. I trade my time, I get money. It's like how Myron says, it's go to work, go to work, go to work, get paid. Go to work, go to work, go to work, get paid. Well, if you can go to work, get paid, get paid, get paid, go to work, get paid, get paid, get paid. Just flip it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's good news for me. And that is our chapter. I want to just we got a few minutes for everybody to share whatever you'd like to share. I thought it was a good chapter. I've taken away some really good tips. I'm definitely going to exercise this week, especially I'm gonna change the way I set my goals. Actually, I'm gonna do like he said, and I'm gonna put 6 things on my to-do list, hook or crook, to get those things done. And also, I'm gonna work in chunks. And he says like an hour and a half, but I don't know. I think that's a little bit too long. Because in an hour and a half, so much happens. Alerts on your phone, buzzes, things like that. But maybe smaller chunks, 20-minute chunks, and focus for that entire period to get things done. That's my takeaway from the chapter. And hey, check out my new bookmarks. I love it.
What is it? It's hard to see.
I'm getting them from my my library.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Superheroes.
Yeah, it's a summer book reading series, and they have a lot of different bookmarks. Been hanging out at the library a little bit.
Love that.
Yes. Maybe I will get you guys. I got these right here. These are some magnetic bookmarks that also have motivational phrases on them. I don't know if you flip them open like this,
That's cool.
and then it's magnetized. So I'm using it as like these little bookmarks, but I don't know. I'm trying them out, see how they work. Something new.
Love that.
Look at that one.
Just breathe.
Yes. Got a couple
love
minutes.
that.
Got a couple minutes left before we get out there and close the deal.
Yep. I just put the finishing touches on a funnel hub for a pressure washing company here in Bell Fountain, Ohio.
Woo-hoo!
Sales.tntpw.net. Check that out. Let me know what you think.
All right.
I don't think anything's broken on it yet, but feel free to go through and tell me if it's broken.
I'll check it out.
That's it. And then I'm coming up on the end of the 30 days. I think tomorrow is day 30 of the 30 day that I've kind of put out there from when the company I was with sold. And I can tell you it's not as easy as the book says it is, right? So when it comes to the real life deal, but I did manage to hit a couple of milestones from the book when it came to, getting that free client to, do what I've just did to build out the funnel hub and see what is going to happen from there. Now that it's done, the goal is to drive the traffic to it and see how well it converts.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations. All right, Laura.
Congratulations for sure, Brandon.
Finish us out in less than a minute, Laura.
Okay, hey, building one franchise at a time. But before we do that, we're building ourselves first. Pitch practice forever.
Yes, we wouldn't miss it if we were on Mars, and we haven't missed.
Nope, always going to show up and do the reps because then good things happen.
We're going to make it happen. And I hope you out there are making it happen too. Share your stories with us. Share what you'll be doing share what you'll be implementing and time management. That's the very first strategy to becoming the ultimate sales machine is time management. Let us know in the comments and we will read your comments out loud in the next episode. All right.
That subscribe button, damn it.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Have a wonderful week.
Close the deal.
Close the deal. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.